Hello YouTubers, welcome back to another Tesla vlog with me, Adam Well Informed. As you can see from the title, I'll be sharing 5 unshakable habits Tesla Model 3 owners get from going electric. Another way you could say it is, when you go electric, you just don't go back, to coin a familiar phrase. I'm positive many of the Tesla Model 3 owners suffer from the same habits, which probably explains why we can't look at petrol, diesel or gas cars with the same enthusiasm again. The environmental benefits of battery electric vehicles are well documented, but just looking at it on a car versus car basis, what makes the Tesla Model 3 so appealing and what keeps it so relevant, so much that you want to avoid or turn down an opportunity to drive a similar fossil fuel alternative to your EV. Also in this video, I've bottled up some bad news that I haven't managed to share with you just yet because it's so fresh. Don't worry, this isn't to do with the app that I'm helping to build. This is still very much going ahead. I can't wait to show you the app in full. The bad news is unfortunately related to the car. As you know, I try to be transparent as possible whenever I'm in my informative trance, which sounds a bit wordy really, but I'm informing now just so you're aware ahead of finding out what these 5 habits that I have for this video. So my Tesla Model 3 is actually been damaged by a third party. Well, not just once, actually twice. Talk about bad luck. And that was literally within a handful of weeks. Now is not really the time to share all the details though. Evidence has been captured thanks to the dashcam, and I have and will continue to upload videos here as I've got a bank of seen and unseen footage readily available. Obviously the good news is that it will be repaired very shortly though. So before we get started on the actual topic at hand, if you haven't seen any of my other content before, I do a video pretty much every week on my refreshed Tesla Model 3. I talk about all things Tesla and electric cars in general. If you like that kind of content, drop us a like and subscribe, hit the notification bell, plus you'll be the first to know when this secret app I'm hoping to build will be released to the general public, which is not too long in the distant future by the way, so don't forget to hit that subscribe button if you want to be the first to know. So now let's look at them filthy habits of mine. Well, you know what I mean, not that filthy. Let's hit it. Habit number 1 is particularly relatable to the average everyday driver. So those that do around 10,000 miles a year, commuting, just doing general social and domestic runs. Whenever anyone new to electric vehicles mentions an EV, whether that's a Tesla Model 3, Kia Niro, Polestar 2, range anxiety is very much present. That's very much a normal response in comparison to what they're used to. But let's turn that on its head with our first habit. This is to ignore your miles left. In fact, don't even use miles as your metric measurement of energy remaining in your car. I've advocated this behaviour before in a video above, but if you're about to collect your Tesla Model 3, I'd highly recommend doing this on your day of collection. This is because the miles metric is not fully accurate to your current driving style and the current driving conditions. If you all look at your smartphones right now, your battery remaining isn't judged by your talk time remaining. It's set to percentage of energy remaining because ultimately it's down to how you are operating that phone. Your electric vehicle is exactly the same. If you're an everyday driver, you're not even going to get close to the 100% capacity limit just through general usage on your daily commute. Take a look at the entry model 2022 Tesla Model 3. This now does over 300 miles of range as standard, among some other cool changes, but ultimately, if you're doing 30 miles a day, you still have plenty of miles in the tank, to coin another old phrase. I wonder if you'll still be using that term in 5 years' time. Anyway, your daily mileage is only scraping the barrel in terms of how much energy you have remaining. It might not be 270 exactly, it might only be 260 or 255, but it doesn't matter because we can simply plug the vehicle into our home charger at the end of the day, or at our place of work during the day, or even at our local level 2 charging station. This will recuperate those miles lost on that given day. No sweat. Even if you did double the mileage at 60 miles, it doesn't matter because you can always top up at the end of the day, etc. for a battery's worth of range the next day, and that's convenient because you're not going out of your way to obtain that charge as well. Those that have watched me before know I'm a good fan of the YouTuber Bjorn. He advocates the term ABC, which stands for Always Be Charging. If you follow Always Be Charging, you have nothing to worry about. Literally plugging in at night or at your place of work, given the opportunity to, and the battery percentage metric will merely be just a digit on the screen then. Longer trips may need a little planning, but nothing that Tesla navigation can't handle, or download the A Better Route Planner app to take out that range anxiety of longer trips with its quick and easy route and charging simulations. Habit number 2, I've nicknamed silent but deadly. Back in the old days, a rev of the engine was an indication that they were ready to race. Not that it adds to performance, as far as I'm aware, merely it just adds stress to the engine unnecessarily, and perhaps it's compensation for something else, which I'll leave for your own imagination. Switching to electric feels great because the acceleration and instant torque of the motor. On the roads that you drive every day, I believe acceleration is far more appreciated than a high top speed, and that requires you to either enter the autobahn or a racetrack to actually achieve that in the first place. When you need that acceleration, maybe joining the motorway or merging within a lane, the zippy like behaviour is not only great for safety, it's fun and enjoyable to drive. Even when you have a rear-wheel drive Model 3 like me, it does 0 to 60 in 5.3 seconds. It's not hugely impressive, but it's very agile indeed, considering it's not designed for speed in mind. If you want performance, you can grab the all-wheel drive Model 3 Performance at 3.1 seconds 0 to 60. But when it comes to supercars, it's hard to get hyped up and excited, I find. Once upon a time, supercars looked the part, and in fairness, they still actually do look pretty cool, but the performance and efficiency on the acceleration side of things are still what Tesla are achieving now already. Like Ferraris in general, not 60 times vary per model, of course, but we're looking at a range of, mid 2 seconds to over 3 seconds. So the Model 3 Performance at 3.1 seconds not to 60, 340 miles of range, doesn't really look too shabby compared to a Ferrari. Plus the Model 3 seats 5, etc. Obviously they're just two completely different cars, but my point is it's so hard to get excited about traditional supercars when you can get a more practical EV with similar performance for a fraction of the price. I won't even mention the industry-leading Model S Plaid with a sub 2 second 0 to 60 time. Maybe a suitable comparison may be the Rimac Nevera. It's got a slightly better 0 to 60 time than the Plaid actually, but has a supercar vibe to it and it's got that supercar price tag. It's just difficult to get excited about supercars now, in my eyes. I see the old ones as classic cars as they were different during that time of release. But the more recently released supercars just really seem irrelevant and outdated. It's utilising the wrong formula now. This one may just be me, but how do you feel about, supercars in general these days? Do they get you excited as what they used to? Let me know in the comment section below. Habit number 3 is very Tesla related. No buttons, complicated dials or knobs. Just a clean, uncomplicated interior. If I enter a different car with different bells and whistles, it's like moving from your own clean desk with no paperwork on the surface to a folks desk with, paperwork all over it. People with paperwork on a messy desk know exactly where that document is as well that they want, which is bizarre. But whilst these two, may operate at the same level, I can pretty much guarantee though the one or the individual with the paperwork all over their desk feels actively busier than the one without the paperwork on the desk. Paperwork over a desk just really sets an unconscious scene of just being busy, and that's how I feel in a different vehicle after owning a Tesla Model 3. Also, I appreciate there is some adjustments to actually getting used to the screen, etc., and the no dials. It is literally something that you do adjust to pretty quickly. I also feel the voice commands as well on the car are very strong and have been getting better with the over-the-air updates. My only niggle though is that a mother is not a mom in the UK. It's more like mum, mummy or mumsy. No judgments made here, depending on how you've been brought up. But having the car default to mom rather than mum and not being able to call them can be deeply frustrating. I have seen Twitter rumours of UK British language option being added on, which should hopefully correct the issue. Anyway, back to what I was explaining. Yes, the single viewpoint of the screen and the lack of dials not only looks good, it's just much easier to clean, there's less grooves for dirt to get embedded into, easier to wipe down. I'm just a big fan of the clear desk look, and this interior sort of ticks that box for me. If you have the opportunity to experience it and you like a clean desk, you probably understand the vibe that I'm trying to get within this Tesla Model 3. Habit number 4 is not braking with the conventional brake discs and using regenerative braking properties of any electric vehicle to slow the car down. This saves wear and tear on the brake pads, etc., and you get the bonus of energy being recuperated by slowing down, which can be stored and redeployed again. This is great for my back pocket, but this isn't the reason why it is a habit of mine. Heavily using regenerative braking is pretty much the norm because it's much easier than using the brake pedal. And I should put a disclaimer here, you should actually use the conventional brakes if the regen is not going to stop you in time, of course. However, I find in 80% of cases I can rely on the regenerative braking to do what I need. To activate to regen, you simply take your foot off the accelerator or gas pedal, depending on where you're based, and it begins to stop. The Tesla Model 3 has a strong braking performance, and that will differ between different EVs. And I did find that actually between the Model S and the actual Model 3 that there was a big difference between the regenerative braking. Anyway, it's so easy to do, and to brake using the normal brake all the time just seems a lot of work now. The whole one pedal driving setup is just so much more convenient, especially when you're in stop and go traffic. Habit number 5, I put down to the security approach of the Tesla Model 3. No longer do I need to search or fumble around looking for car keys. I can keep a key card in my wallet like any normal card, or my most favourite, using my phone as the key card, effectively making the Tesla Model 3 a keyless contact like experience, similar to keyless entry, but you don't have to carry an extra fob around with you. Plus, you don't have a power on button in the car, it's just always ready to go because it's electric. Security does not stop there though. We've got forward, side and back facing dash cam as standard, pin to entry in order to put the car into drive. This all comes as standard on any new Tesla vehicle. Collectively, the features are convenient but also super secure. I don't really know any other brand that offers anything similar as standard, which is why I have become accustomed to this new standard, and anything else is not quite the same. I've also included a cheeky bonus habit as well that I think, hopefully, you obviously share this with me as well, but it's just the desire to encourage other people to switch to EVs. Experiencing an EV and understanding the benefits, especially the running cost side of things, you know you're onto a winner. It's natural to gravitate and encourage others, I find, and you want them to sort of join you on your sort of EV journey. And that's purely because it's like a roller coaster ride. You want them to share the highs and lows of you, but overall, you know it's truly worth it in the end. So to summarise, and going back to the video title, 5 unshakable habits the Tesla Model 3 owners get from going electric. Collectively, I find it's really difficult to consider driving a fossil fuel car again. I will try to avoid it wherever possible because these habits are here to stay. Benchmarks have been set. I just see no positive reason for me to go back to an ICE vehicle. To those Tesla Model 3 owners, do you think the same? I feel like I'd only drive one if I really had to for some particular reason. Let me know your thoughts by dropping me a comment in the section below. That's it from me this week. Next week will mark the 1 whole year of owning a Tesla Model 3. Therefore, I have one hell of a review to put together for that moment, so stay tuned. Don't forget to subscribe, like and share the video with your friends and family. Thanks for tuning in, and guess what? I'll see you in the next one.